Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm seeing a lot of stories in crypto media about XRP whales going on buying sprees. Here's a couple just for the fun of it. Look at this headline from A&B Crypto. XRP, how Ripple's IPO speculation is triggering whale activity on the chain. And actually, I'll cite here right in the intro. Ripple's IPO speculation has nothing to do with this. So it is a matter-of-fact statement that whales are accumulating. And by the way, I am not talking about exchanges. I'm going to share with you the specifics, but we're not talking just about exchanges accumulating, because then it's easy to say, oh, the whales are purchasing, look at the on-chain behavior, and then it's just a bunch of exchanges that were, in and out, lots of money. It's always gigantic. So many of their transfers are gigantic, but that's not what I'm talking about here. But no, it absolutely has nothing to do with Ripple's IPO. And then there was this headline also from CoinGate. XRP whales on accumulation spree. Ripple keen to explore IPO after SEC battle. What is it with these people and tying whatever's in the news to XRP price? That always happens. It always happens. Whatever is happening in the news, whether it's good or bad, bam, XRP price. It's somehow tied together, which just it makes no damn sense. Because there's almost always endless good news and stories surrounding XRP. I'm sorry, actually, let's just say Ripple specifically, that doesn't impact the price of XRP. But we've got that, and then also I wanted to share with you this article I found interesting, and upon going through this, I think you'll feel the same as me. It's good to be in XRP because it's a cryptocurrency that functionally does something and is useful to people and businesses. But here's the headline from the Daily Hodl. Macro expert Lynn Alden says most altcoin projects built on unstable business models. But before going further, I would like to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? I am just a simple little Moon Lambo doing awesome little Moon Lambo things, making YouTube videos about crypto topics all up on the internets, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So these articles, they're all going back to data from analytics firm Santiment. And I'm a fan of Santiment, actually, so I wanted to share with you exactly what Santiment had to say here. And I'll pull up this first chart that they shared and read what they had to say. XRP network whales holding between 1 million and 10 million XRP have collectively been accumulating and now hold their largest percentage of the asset supply in 2 months. This is the most active tier of non-exchange holders and currently hold 6.12% of all XRP. So again, these are not exchange entities. These are individual holders that, they're the biggest of the big, fine. But it's just fascinating to see that, especially over that time period. If you look, over the last couple of months in particular, and actually more precisely than that, if you look at the chart here, you could even say, just as Santiment points out, even specifically the last 11 days, that's when you've really seen a ramp up. Despite these being the scariest of times in recent memory in terms of price action, it just went up. And so this yellow line, this is showing what the whales are doing regarding XRP. And actually these green bars on the back, that's actually Bitcoin's price. So look, as Bitcoin's been down here where I'm now circling, being low, hovering around 30,000 very frequently in recent days, most of this month actually, below $30,000 or thereabout. I guess a lot of it was a hair above 30,000, but you get the cut about it. Bitcoin price down, still whales, which are the ones that have money, behaving a little bit differently than you might expect a typical retail speculator to be behaving, just snatching up XRP. They don't seem to be fearful in the least. Now, somebody named Brad Mills responded to Santiment there and wrote, "This looks like a Bitcoin chart. Are you saying XRP whales are accumulating to Bitcoin?" And credit, I can understand like why Brad would write what he's writing, and frankly, without that explanation, it's a little peculiar that they chose to have Bitcoin price right under the yellow price action of XRP whales. So I can see why somebody would ask that. It actually makes perfect sense. But Santiment, to their credit, did come in and they offered an explanation. And they wrote the following. And this is a different chart now. So this is actually XRP price and then the overlay with whale activity. So they wrote, this is XRP's whale holders in yellow versus Bitcoin's price in green. Since Bitcoin has been leading markets on such a highly correlative level, we wanted to highlight against Bitcoin's price in this particular illustration. For reference, here is XRP network against XRP price. And they're right too, all as far as what they're saying about there just being this high correlation, which is why y'all better hope that Bitcoin doesn't go to zero. I know that there's a small percentage within the XRP community of people. Every now and then I'll see it on Twitter where they just think Bitcoin's going to zero. It's almost like they're hoping for it. Well, I don't know for sure if it's going to zero or not. I'm certainly hoping it does not. I could do without that type of turbulence in crypto markets. And also, I do recognize, as I've said many times on this channel, that standards matter in many aspects of life. And so if Bitcoin is going to continue to persist only because it's the first cryptocurrency, it's the least technologically advanced, so in that sense, the worst cryptocurrency. But if purely because it's first, humans have rallied around it, okay, fine. If that's going to persist forever, okay, fine. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen because we haven't had Bitcoin compete in a mature crypto asset class. So in the short term, I don't think there's danger of it going to zero, not anytime soon. I don't know. It could take a very long time for a mature crypto asset class to actually evolve. But certainly for the foreseeable future, I don't have any fear of that. And I note that the crypto asset class moves in tandem, and I think Bitcoin's going to be worth a lot more in the future. That is my expectation, as well as my hope, and I do hold Bitcoin. I've held Bitcoin 1 week longer than I've held XRP, but since November 2017 is when I first jumped into crypto. But it is still, that's why I keep saying, since these are my beliefs personal, you do what you want. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or hold, but directionally, that's exactly what I'm expecting, is movement to the upside. And it's just interesting seeing how these whales are behaving a bit differently. Now, Brad Mills jumped back in here, and he had an additional question. Said, why is the whale holding so low? Ripple and its co-founders own most of the Ripple supply, I thought. And that's a fair question, because you may recall just a couple minutes ago, I cited from Santiment that the whales were holding, non-exchanges, mind you, so non-exchange whales were holding 6.12% of all XRP. Well, here's what Santiment had to say. Yes, that's correct, Brad. For reference, here are the top 3 tiers of whales, all using different X's. The yellow line is the one you're referring to, which is the tier of addresses holding 10 million or more XRP. They tend to be fairly inactive and currently hold 73% of the supply. Now, before anybody flips out and think, oh my gosh, 73% the inactive ones, well, that's a crazy amount. Well, look, there are whales in every single crypto, to be clear. And I understood from the beginning, jumping into XRP, that Ripple held over half of the total supply of XRP, and I decided I don't care. I understand they could burn me, and then I'll just no longer have trust in them. Okay, fine. Then if that happens, that happens. And I'll tell you what, if Ripple does start just selling off 100% of their escrow month after month after month, I'm going to be screaming from the rooftops, I don't like Ripple anymore. I'm not a fan. This is a bad actor in the space, and there are things that can be done about that, by the way, which is a different topic for a different video. But if that happens, you will hear me screaming that if they break that trust. But I don't think they're going to do it. I think they have a very long-term approach in terms of selling their XRP over a span of decades. And they've actually articulated that. They shared a graph publicly like 5 or so years ago with I think a 30-year plan. And I've talked about that on the channel. I've shown that graph on the channel too. So as long as they don't become bad actors in the space, what the hell do I care? It doesn't matter, because their total holdings are just becoming diminished slowly over time. Okay. I've known that from the beginning. I don't mind, but it's not just XRP where that's a thing within the ecosystem. In fact, take a look at this article. This happens to be from February of last year. Doesn't matter. I didn't want to search harder to find more recent numbers, because the point is the point regardless. Whether the numbers are a little higher or a little lower than they were in February of last year, I don't care. But this was a headline from Business Insider titled, Bitcoin Whales, What Are They? And how are they affecting the cryptocurrency's price? And I don't want to read the article. I just want to point out this bullet point right here. There are around 1,000 individuals known as whales who own 40% of the market. We're talking about Bitcoin here, folks. 40% of the Bitcoin market, 1,000. Now, mind you, there are hundreds of millions of Bitcoin addresses in existence, hundreds of millions, and 1,000 individuals own 40% of the market as of February of last year. So whether that's a little higher, a little lower, I don't care. My point is that there are whales. And with Ripple holding what they hold, it's not surprised the percentage is that high. I also don't give a damn. And those people that do give a damn, hey, respectfully, shake hands, part ways, fine, whatever. I don't think you're stupid for feeling differently. I just feel differently than you. So anybody that does have a problem with that, fine, don't own XRP. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I still think it's going to be worth way more in the future. And why? Because of utility, which is a perfect segue into this next article from the Daily Huddle. Macro expert Lynn Alden says most altcoin projects built on unstable business models. A macro analyst is weighing in after the sudden collapse of two large cap crypto assets sent shockwaves through the industry. Macro expert Lynn Alden tells their 433,300 followers that many altcoin projects rely on business models that purposely lose money in order to generate revenue. And here's a quote. If you make a business selling $20 bills for $10 each, your revenue growth will be massive and your total addressable market will be nearly infinite. But of course, it's unsustainable. Many altcoin projects and persistently unprofitable growth stocks are basically that, end quote. Lynn is correct on this point. And one thing I did want to mention here is it can be reasonable, especially for a startup, especially in a new category. There can be instances where it is reasonable to lose money, sell something at a loss, to gain market share, and then make that profitable by increasing price over time. All sorts of companies do this. You can think about the credit card firms in the early days, like they were paying merchants to offer credit cards. Think about that. Credit card companies in the earliest days were losing money, until suddenly they weren't. Then people started using credit cards, merchants were pushing it, and then it flips, and then merchants pay the credit card company. So that kind of flipped there too. You can think about Amazon, for example. Amazon, like for most of their history, they've been intentionally not making money on a ton of items that they sell. Like literally their model has not been to lose money. That's to undercut everybody and be the cheapest. And they subsidize that by using their cash cow, which is Amazon Web Services, to fund that. So they have Amazon Web Services with customers like Netflix. So Amazon Web Services does all the data storage, all that. It's cloud computing, right? And they have massive customers, huge. And that's a big profit center for Amazon. And then they lose money on the other side, but that's made historically their price is cheaper than pretty much everyone on the planet. That's been the plan. So their plan has been to lose money, gain market share, and then at some point when there's just nothing but complete dominance or something close to that, something effectuating that, then they go ahead and up the price. That's been the plan. And so there's all sorts, so then the reason I mention all that is to state Ripple's done something similar with, for instance, their former customer MoneyGram, who is no longer a customer thanks to the SEC. Thanks for nothing, SEC. But they were offering incentives monetarily for MoneyGram to come on too. And I don't care. This is a very common practice. Offer monetary incentives, sell below cost or at cost in order to get market share. This is normal stuff. But at some point, yes, you do have to make money. There has to be a business model there. There has to be a use case. And in the case of XRP, the way Ripple's positioning it as a bridge currency, that's a very clear use case. And so anyway, the piece continues. The analyst adds that when businesses try to pivot into profit by raising prices, that's only possible when the product itself is seen as valuable. And here's another quote. The idea with these business models is generally that after the initial cash burn phase of growth, they'll be able to raise prices. And this works sometimes, but only if the end product is indeed desirable for its own sake, rather than because it's massively underpriced. Yeah, exactly. And so for a lot of these altcoins out there, I think they're going to go to zero. I think that they are business ideas, and I use that term loosely, business ideas. For some of them, it's just complete garbage. But it's a business idea with, for some reason, a coin attached to a blockchain, and then that's the business. It's complete and utter garbage, nonsense crap. It just most of the space is that. And so then to see XRP actually functionally useful, it's in a whole different league as far as I'm concerned. Piece continues. Alden concludes by specifically mentioning Terra USD, the algorithmic stablecoin whose depegging from the US dollar quickly caused the affiliated Luna cryptocurrency to crater from $80 to a fraction of a penny earlier this month. And here's a final quote. This was the idea with Terra USD as well. It's like, let's offer people unsustainable high yields to draw them in. And maybe, after enough time and scale, somehow people will want to use this structurally unstable thing to actually pay for real things with. But no. Yeah, end quote. So that's another example of, that did not work out. But it can. It certainly can. So no, I don't worry as far as the large apply this or that. I mean, again, like I said, there's whales within every cryptocurrency. There's also United States dollars whales. Have you noticed that there are a lot of people that have United States dollars that make up a huge percentage of, okay, whatever. that's life, bro. Like, I don't have a problem with this stuff. I don't have a problem with crap projects overall, but only in a general sense. Like, I'm happy that the market's figuring this out over time, and we're going from, a nascent asset class to maturity. This takes a really long time, but hey, it's a fun journey to watch and participate into it. At least for me, the degree to which I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way that everybody gets to invest what they want or not invest whatever. Do it the way you want to do it, but I'm having a blasty blast with this, okay? It's fun to follow this stuff. I'll go ahead and wrap up there, though. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.